And welcome. Today we are diving into the world of goal setting. Goal setting is a very powerful tool that can help you achieve your dreams, and it's super crucial that you know how to set proper goals. Get ready because we've got some really valuable insights coming your way. Okay. So, why is it essential to actually set goals? It's super crucial because firstly, it actually provides us with clarity. Okay, we know where we're going, we have set up a plan, and we are very clear on our vision. Secondly, it helps us plan the milestones and the key actions we have to take in order to achieve the goal. And also, setting goals is actually something that helps us get out of our comfort zone and finally start to do stuff that's going to make us better selves. Okay, so then after a year or two, we're able to say, oh, yes, now I'm a totally different person. Now I know this, I know I learned that, and whatever. So that's why they're super, super important. Okay, so let's dive into the art of setting a specific goals. So very often what we do is the way we set them is like just a wishful thinking. We say, I want to do this, I want to do that. For example, I want to learn Spanish. Okay, that's amazing that you want to learn Spanish, but is it a goal that is achievable? Like from my perspective, it's so not specific that it's very difficult to achieve a goal because when is the moment that you're going to learn the language? Like, to be honest, I've been learning English for so many years, and I still think that there's so much to learn about it, at least for myself, that I do not say that I've learned English. I don't. So like, when is that moment when you say that you learned the language? Okay. So this is not a very specific goal. So it's one of the features of a very well formed goal. It has to be super specific. It has to be super specific. So, for example, I will learn the rules of all the tenses in Spanish within 3 months. I will learn all the rules of Spanish tenses within 3 months. Is it a specific goal? The goal is extra specific. It actually specifies exactly what I want to learn. So what you can see, like what's the difference between I want to learn Spanish and the one that I've just like told you is that we just took a chunk of the actual language learning out of it. So this is very, very specific. That's one. Second, it's very measurable because at the end of this, I will be able to take a test, test myself out and see if I've achieved that goal. I'm able to measure my results. If I'm like 100% correct, or maybe I still need to learn some stuff because I have not been able to really master the tenses. So I really will be able to measure this. Plus, it's time bound. What does time bound give us? What does it give us? It actually gives us a sense of urgency. So we know, okay, so I gave myself 3 months. So let me just think about it. So I know that I have to learn this and this amount of tenses. So then I'm going to devote, I don't know, let's say 2 hours per week to learning 1 tense. Okay, perfect. That's how you do it. Okay, so that actually is an action plan. But right now we're not talking about action plan. First of all, we're talking about goal setting. So as you can see, each and every single goal, it doesn't matter if it's English, if it's anything else, each single goal that you're trying to achieve has to be extra specific. Okay, no blurry wants and wishes, which are like very difficult to even think about. Like, what's the steps to take? Like if you're doing this, it's so big that it's just like impossible for you to even start. Okay, super specific, measurable. So at the end, you're able to see how well you did. It's super crucial because you know if you've achieved your goal. And then third, the goal has to be time bound so that it gives you a sense of urgency. Another goal that I could probably just form as it comes to language learning, I could, for example, say, I will learn to speak Spanish at conversational fluency within 12 months. I will learn to speak Spanish at conversational fluency within 12 months. So here we are extra specific. We know exactly what we want to learn. We want to learn to speak Spanish at conversational fluency. And this conversational fluency is something that is measurable, because what I'm able to do is, like, when the time is up, when the time is over, I can actually test myself out. So for example, I could go and speak to a native speaker and see if, let's say, I'm able to hold a 10-minute conversation with somebody without having to look up words in the dictionary. That will mean that I've achieved the goal. So I'm able to measure this, okay? So it's super, super extra important. And it's time bound, because I gave myself just 12 months, or I don't know if it's just, but I gave myself 12 months to do it. So this goal is extra specific, it's measurable, and it's time bound. So remember, whenever you do this, remember about these 3 features of a perfectly formed goal. It's super, super crucial. Okay, so that's this. But now it's time for taking action. If you set your perfect goal, you have to take action. But if your goal is set in a manner that we're talking about, I'm telling you, it's going to be so easy for you to create an action plan, because it's going to be very clear what you want to achieve, and then extracting the baby steps or the milestones that will get you to where you want to get is super easy. So for example, let's dive into my example. So if I want to learn to speak Spanish at conversational fluency within 12 months, I would have to ask myself a question: how do you learn how to speak? So probably my first thought would be, okay, I think it would be a very good idea to sign up to a course, to a Spanish course. Why? Because then I'll be able to use the language. I'll be able to speak the language. There will be a teacher who will assist me, who will help me. Plus, there will be other students who are going to be there with me on the journey. And it's going to be so much easier for me to be held accountable for what I want to achieve. Probably would be very good to actually let them know that that's your goal. So if you sign up to a Spanish course, you can just say, you know what, guys, I just decided I want to speak Spanish at conversational fluency within 12 months, and that's my goal. That's why I signed up to these classes. That's amazing. It's also going to give your teacher an idea what you want exactly. So definitely the teacher is going to tailor the lesson to suit your needs as well. Make sure to choose the classes that are like conversation classes, not grammar classes. You don't want that at this point, because that's not what your goal is. If your goal was to learn grammar, which would also be okay, that's fine. It would probably be good to actually sign up to classes that are centered around grammar. In this case, it's better to just go and sign up to classes that are centered around speaking. So that would be like your first thing to do. So what I would do in that case, if I have 12 months, for the first month, I would just do this. That would be the only thing I would be doing. For just 1 month, devote my time to doing this and only this. Okay, I think that's the best approach ever. And after a month, if I would be still going to my Spanish course without failure, I would then think, okay, so now I need to lay some more bricks, because I know that purely just going to a Spanish course is not enough for me to achieve what I want to achieve within 12 months. So then I would think about like, okay, so what do I need to actually be able to speak? Okay, I can practice speaking, but in order to practice speaking, I also need to have the tools to speak. So I need to listen to stuff a lot. I need to read a lot, okay? So what's the best thing to do? Okay, maybe I'm just a very chill person, and first thing I want to do is I want to turn on Netflix, find a really cool series or maybe a movie, and then start watching with subtitles on. Like, what's the best way to do it? The way I would probably do it is I would want to watch a movie. Let's say I pick a movie, or maybe not even a movie. I probably would choose a series, probably the easiest thing to do. Choose a series that I really like, okay, or enjoy. And then I would watch this in my own language first, to actually know what it's all about, to actually get the gist of the whole situation and the vibe of the movie and what is happening. Okay, so that I would watch this once, and the second time around I would watch this with my native language subtitles, but I would actually listen to the actual speech, the Spanish one, so I could actually hear them say it. If it's possible, it actually is good to slow the speed a tiny bit, so then it's easier for you to understand what they're saying. Sometimes also what I found is like when you're watching a film and you want to learn a language from that film, it's actually good to find a film with dubbing. What I noticed, if it's a Spanish movie and there are Spanish actors, it's very difficult for me to follow because the way they speak is like super fast, it's extra fast, blah, 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 blah. They just speak like this, okay? But when it's dubbed, I don't know why, but that's the case. When it's dubbed, I can see that the people who actually give their voices, they say it much slower and much clearer. So I noticed that it's so much easier. So probably dubbing would be a great thing to do. So find maybe movies that are in other languages but have a Spanish dubbing. So watch Netflix. And I'm not saying you have to watch this every single day. No, just like give yourself some space and say, okay, so I'm going to devote some time to watching a movie or film on Netflix, and I'm going to do this just once a week. Let's say Sunday. Sunday is chill, so I can do this on Sunday, okay? So then try to do this for a month, okay? And if you successfully manage to go through 4 Sundays and do that, fantastic. 2 months have gone and you're already successfully going to a Spanish course and also watching, listening, and seeing whatever is happening in Spanish. Okay, that's amazing. So there's another brick. So then what I would do is I would add another brick to it, okay, because I think it's still not enough. If I want to achieve my goal within 12 months, okay, there's that sense of urgency and I know that I have to do something about it. So now what I do is, okay, reading. Let me just like start reading stuff. And like, you don't have to go to like course books and stuff like that. Just really find some real stuff on the internet. I mean, there's like so many things on the internet. Maybe it'd also be good to find some texts that are very easy, maybe designed for kids, especially for kids, because that will be so much easier for you. If you can read like children's stories, maybe that would be a good idea, but sometimes they use expressions or words that are specific to books, but are not specific to the actual spoken language. So maybe I would just like not go there. Probably blog posts are good for that. So then what I would do is I would just read and translate. That's what I would do once a week, just one text a week. That's it. And then it's another month. So that's the 3rd month when you're just adding something to your list. So right now, at the end of 3 months, you'll be doing 3 things: Spanish course, then the watching films, movies, and reading. Amazing. Okay, so now we're speeding up. Okay, 3 months have gone, but now I still want to achieve my goal within 12 months. So I think I need to do something more. What I would do is that I would actually add some listening to it. Okay. I would add listening after reading and watching movies and going to course, because listening is just, you cannot see people, you cannot see the words, you just listen to stuff. But maybe, I don't know, maybe there are some websites where you can actually listen to stuff and still see the subtitles. I'm not sure about this, because then you would think, oh, maybe it's just better to watch a movie. Listening is great, for example, when you're commuting. It's really amazing because then you can fill up that time when you're just like pretty much not engaged in anything, and it's just a time that you still have to devote to doing something that is crucial for you every single day. So I would then just do that. Probably that would be the easiest. So I would just listen on my commute, and I would do this from Monday to Friday. If I were commuting even 15 minutes a day, I would still turn on something that is just about Spanish, okay? Just like listening to that. Maybe also would be good to listen to something that is simpler, easier. But I would definitely go for something that has good dialogues. That would be really amazing. Some kind of drama or something. It would be really amazing because once again, we're getting that conversation thing flowing. And that's what we need. We need conversation, conversational phrases, the way people engage, the intonation and stuff like that. So that would be really crucial. So we have the Spanish course. We watch films in Spanish. We listen to stuff in Spanish. We read stuff in Spanish. If you are really motivated and you really want to do this, I would advise you to then use an app, a language learning app. Language learning app will not help you to speak, I'm sure about this, but what it will do, it actually help you maybe just like see how the sentences are structured so you learn the proper structure of sentences. But definitely it's not going to get you very far, but I'm not saying no, absolutely. I mean, whatever, just like you add on, it's amazing. Just do it. Just do it, whatever just like serves you. And also, we decided that you're just watching movies just once a week. You can also extend that time. A lot depends on your schedule. What's really important here is you really have to set yourself the time that is like possible for you to finish something. That's one. And two, you have to look at your schedule, how it looks, because maybe, I don't know how you work, maybe Sundays you work. So you will not be able to devote that time on Sunday to actually watch the films in Spanish. Okay? So what I would advise you to do before you take any action plan, think of your week. How does your week look? How is it set up? What are your routines? When do you do them? How much time do they take you? And where are these slots of time that you'll be able to allocate these activities that would help you learn Spanish, allocate to? So that's really crucial. Really think about it. Really, before even taking an action, before doing that first month, just like really sit down and think, how much time do I have in my hands? When do I have that time? On what days and when exactly? Okay. And if you tell me that you don't have time, that's BS. I don't believe you. The reason is that I know I'm a person myself. Come on, I'm not a machine. I know how it goes. I would sometimes get carried away with social media. That happens to me as well. And then I see how much time actually flows by. And I tell myself, oh gosh, I could have done something else within those 15 minutes. So yes, you are able to find that time. It's just you need to know that you want to find that time. Because if you don't, just like don't even bother. Okay, so amazing. So we've got the action plan. So that's the action plan and we're just going. The ball is rolling. And once you're actually going to be there and the ball is going to be rolling, you will see what's happening, how much progress you're making. So then you'll be able to really adjust your speed. So let's say after these 4 months, you're saying, oh gosh, it's like going a bit too fast. I cannot keep up. It's like too difficult for me. Slow it down. If you see, oh, I'm doing great. I really want to just like even speed up. Add on more stuff, okay? So you'll be able to adjust, but never say, oh, I'm stopping. It's too much of a hassle. No, don't. And if you see that, for example, after like these 4 months, you're saying, oh gosh, like this goal of me actually being able to speak Spanish at conversational fluency within 12 months is not really possible for me to achieve, then don't worry about it, okay? Just like first try to do it. Do your best. If at the end, like after these 12 months, you will not be able to speak at conversational fluency, but you will be almost there. So I speak at this level, great. Maybe I did not give myself enough time to do it, but then I was not aware. I was not sure of if it's going to be okay. Come on, we make mistakes all the time. We don't have to be super perfect, but you cannot just like decide in the month number 4, oh, I'm not going to be able to make it. Just don't do that. Of course, if you feel you want to speed up, do, but never just like extend that time and say, oh, I need more time. Because no, just don't do that, okay? Just leave yourself the same amount of time that you have thought in the very beginning and then adjust the speed. And that's it. That's the way I would do this. Okay, so that's taking action. Great. So we have step number 2. Okay, next thing that is really important when you're setting goals and you plan your action plan, what's super important is the activities you will be doing have to be pleasurable. If you find them not pleasurable, at some point they will turn into a tedious chore that you will not want to carry on doing. Okay, and your goal will never come true. So, because what we have to remember, like every goal requires consistency from us. Okay. And in order to be consistent, we need to have motivation. And in order to have that motivation, we really need to feel like this is something that we really want to be doing. Okay. Because like, how long can you hold your motivation for? For some time, yes, you can. But then if you don't find pleasure in it, it's not going to happen. So let's say you could like add on reading, but if you hate reading, if reading to you is something that you never like, maybe that's not the best way for you to actually take action to become a fluent speaker of Spanish. Okay, so that's super crucial to think about what you actually like and enjoy doing when thinking of the steps you're going to take to achieve your goal. So you have to enjoy what you're doing. So the way I would do this, because I don't like reading books, but I love listening to books. I love audiobooks. I could be listening to audiobooks like all the time. Just give me an audiobook and I will listen to it, okay? So probably what I would do is like the majority part of my time spending learning the language would be devoted to actually listening to the audiobook. I also enjoy watching movies. So I would also watch movies with subtitles to make sure that I learn a lot. But I would not read books. I would not. I just don't like reading books. I don't know, for some reason, like to me, it's very slow. I process it longer, and it's so much easier for me to listen. And each one of us is different. We acquire like different information in different ways. Every one of us is different. So that's the way I acquire knowledge. It's like the best for me. I am a visual and I am a listener, but I love listening to stuff. Probably maybe for me it would be good to actually see the book itself and listen to it at the same time. But you just have to find your own pleasurable ways, and that's super, super crucial. I hope that this is clear for you. It's essential also to find the right balance. Okay, you have to find pleasure in this, but I'm sure some of the stuff will not be very pleasurable, and there will be days you're not going to feel like doing stuff, okay? There has to be a balance between pleasure and progress. And you have to have pleasure, but you also have to value progress and know that sometimes you need to devote some time to doing something that is not super pleasurable, but then knowing that this is going to help you get closer to your goal. Of course, it's still important to enjoy the process, but you have to ensure that you are making consistent efforts and you are still focused on your goals. For example, I always dreamed of opening up a school, so I made this really big goal that I will have this and this many groups at the start of this and this year, and that's what happened, which is amazing. Okay, but it's not like I'm taking pleasures in every single thing that I'm doing to make sure that my school is running. There are like 20 or 30% of things that I hate doing, but then I know that I have to because my job entails that. My job requires me to still do this. But 70% of what I'm doing is something that I enjoy very much. I value progress and I value pleasure. I value both of these things, but I do not value pleasure the most, and I don't care about progress, because if that happened, I would be stuck. Okay, because if it was just all about the pleasures, I would still be far away. But then I've always been super determined about my goals and stuff. And so I would go and do things that I hated, did not enjoy, because I knew this wouldn't help me make progress. That's pretty much how this looks. Taking baby steps. Because you know what we love to do? We just love to like just jump in the water. And that's it. Oh yes, I'm doing this. We love to do a lot. Because at first we're extra motivated. We do want to, I'm going to do this, and that. So many different things. We're just like, it's all crazy. But then you just cannot be consistent. That's why when I was talking about taking action, I was talking about doing just one thing a month, just one thing, nothing else. Just like forget about reading, forget about listening, forget about watching movies, forget about it. Take baby steps. Okay? Because think about it from that perspective. You have a life already. You have your routines. You have your stuff that your life is happening right now. It really is. And so right now, trying to incorporate something into your life that's never been there, and you're already saying that, oh, you don't have time, it's super difficult. And if you want to stack up 5 additional things on top of what you're doing already, you're just like doomed to fail, honestly. So that's why you just have to think of your goals as these big things, but then actions are these little baby steps. Don't go too fast. I mean, you can go fast with certain things, but don't stack up too many things in your schedule, because it will not happen then. At some point, you're going to break. You're going to say, that's too much for me. I'm not able to handle it. I have to stop. And that was also something that happened with me. I would just be like, let's go in. And then I was motivated, and I was working 24/7 for a straight 3 months. Okay, I was making a lot of progress, but at the end of 3 months, my health went down. And at some point, I had to be hospitalized. I had this great goal. I really wanted to achieve this. And I went all in with that. Okay, great. But that's not how you do it. So see, I stopped doing that. I stopped. After these 3 months, I stopped doing what I was doing. And had I decided then that I would take baby steps, I would be in a different position right now. But I didn't do it. But what I'm happy about is that I learned the hard way, but I learned from my mistakes. And now I know that that's not how you do it, baby. That's really not how you do it. So take baby steps. I know that you want to do it fast. You want to finish fast. Think about this from your life's perspective. So you've been living for, I don't know how many years. I don't know how old you are. Looking at the statistics, most people are around 30, in their 30s, okay? So if you've been living on this earth for 30-something years, what is another year to you? And you are trying to achieve something within a month. No, just think about it from that perspective. Another year is nothing to compare to the amount of time you've already lived on this earth. So give yourself that time, take baby steps, value your progress, but do not jump like that and just thrash everything on yourself and then expect you're going to make progress and never stop. You will stop. Okay? So really, really remember, expectations, yes, but baby steps. If you take baby steps, you really avoid burnout and overwhelm. So when you focus on just a few specific tasks, so for example, if it's just going to this Spanish course, you can give this your full attention and ensure that you're doing this well. So it really helps you to maintain that sense of balance and prevent the feeling of being stretched too thin. Once you gradually increase your effort, the first month is just Spanish course. The second month, it's Spanish course and watching movies, okay? As you accomplish these smaller tasks and achieve these milestones, you really gain that sense of accomplishment. And you can then prove to yourself that you are capable of making progress. And that's really important, because what's happening very often, we have a habit. It became our habit that we do stuff, we start stuff, and then we stop doing it. That's the habit. That's our habit. So now we need to create a new habit where you make progress. Okay? Just remember to celebrate. Remember to celebrate. So if, for example, you sign up to a Spanish course and you've been going there for a month, celebrate. Celebrate that you've gone to 8 classes of Spanish and you are closer to your goal. Celebrate this. I don't know, buy yourself chocolate, go to dinner with your spouse, just whatever, and say, oh yes, I managed to do this. I'll be able to take another step. Really give yourself these little prizes and celebrate that. And to be honest, I have to just like confess something. I suck at this so much. I know that I should be celebrating my progress, but what happens with me, and I have to learn this as well, is like whenever I accomplish something and do something, I'm like, okay, done. What's the next thing that we have to do? And I just like forget that I've done this. I don't feel that I accomplished something. That's my problem. I know there's like high expectations, and I only look to expectations, not like, I don't like pride myself in what I've done. I know it's bad. I'm learning to also celebrate this. So this is something for me to learn as well. But it's really crucial because it really helps us really value our work, value ourselves. I mean, we love to be recognized. We love to see that we're doing well. This is just your goal. I mean, other people will not care about it, okay? But you do care. Show your pride in the fact that you're just doing really well. Remember, Rome wasn't built in a day. It wasn't. By starting small, you avoid overwhelm, remember, and you gradually increase your progress. You really will create a solid foundation for your success. Next thing to remember when setting goals and then taking action plan is something that I've already mentioned. You really have to balance your commitments. You really have to balance your commitments. You have to look at your life from a bird's eye view and see what segments are you involved in. Because your life, if you're a single and you don't have kids, you don't have a spouse, you don't have a boyfriend or girlfriend, I mean, your life will be so much different from the life of a person who's got a spouse, who's got kids. So you know, then your commitments are different. So what you have to remember about is like really how your life looks, because you don't want to create a situation where you neglect some segments of your life for the pure purpose of achieving the goal. I mean, you could. I'm not saying you couldn't, because I know there are people who actually decide to do this. I want to do this, so now I'm not going to have any friends. I'm not going to any friends meetings. Family doesn't exist for me. I'm only going to focus on this. I'm not saying it's bad. I wonder how sustainable this is. I wonder how long you can actually go like this. Maybe this is something doable, but for me, I'm not sure I would be able to do this, but it's also something for you to consider. So I'm just talking from my perspective. So I think it's actually very good to think about your life and not neglect the other areas of your life, because you need your friends, you need your family, you need your free time, you need some time off. I mean, you need those things, okay? But obviously this is your decision to make. So you can go all full blown, but it's not going to be extra sustainable. At some point, you're going to break. Or maybe if you're super determined, I'm sure there are individuals who could do it, but I think most of us cannot. Remember that there are other areas of your life that need your attention, okay? So consider that before you take any action whatsoever, before you plan any action whatsoever, okay? Remember, don't forget that you eat. Don't forget that you sleep. Don't forget that you go to work. Don't forget that you have to spend some time with your kids if you do have them. Don't forget that you also have to spend some time with your husband if you have him, or wife if you have her. That's super crucial, because it's it's not like you can, okay, right now, oh, this is my goal. So guys, just go. I decided to focus on this. You just don't do that, okay? So honor your other commitments, but also think where you could allocate your new commitments. What's very crucial here is you have to be extra flexible here. Yeah, because life is very unpredictable. So just because you have your schedule, just because you know how your week looks, you never know what's going to happen. You don't know. There are so many unexpected things that may happen in your life. So it's really essential to be adaptable. And you have to be willing to make some adjustments along the way. If actually a conflicting commitment arises, just please don't feel frustrated. Okay, just think of it as an opportunity to really just like reassess, rethink your schedule, and find alternative solutions. Okay, that's really important. Another really important aspect of finding that balance is aligning your lifestyle with your activities. So let's say if I liked socializing and I needed to speak Spanish at conversational fluency within 12 months, I would start hanging out with people that are learning Spanish. Or maybe like I'm sure there's like Facebook groups who meet up together. It's usually in big cities, yes. Meet up together and they practice a language and they just exchange their different experiences with the language and stuff. So this is also very important. So just like that, even with Netflix, if you like watching movies, I mean, watching Netflix using subtitles and just listening to the language you want to learn is also a way of merging activities that you like with the activities that will get you to achieve your goal. Be flexible, extra flexible, okay, please. One, be patient. I know, you guys. Hold your horses. You just really want to see immediate results. Just like with working out, learning to speak Spanish at conversational fluency will definitely take some time, and you really have to embrace the fact that it's going to take that time. So please be patient. Don't get discouraged or disheartened when you don't see those immediate results, okay? Once again, Rome wasn't built in a day. And when you cultivate that patience, you really develop resilience needed to keep pushing forward even during challenging times. And what's really important here is that progress is not linear. So there will be moments where you're going to learn more, and there will be moments where you're going to learn less. It's ups and downs of life. Just like your motivation could be here one week and here the other week, and it's normal. But at some point, they're going to balance themselves out, and they're going to be just like this, okay? The same with learning. Sometimes you're going to learn this much, and sometimes you're going to learn this much. Just remember that this is very natural. Very natural. Life is not linear. Nothing about this whole world is linear. Nothing. Okay? There's always like the counterbalance of everything. Black and white, hot and cold. So up and down, it's normal. If you're going to stay consistent and be super patient, you will see eventual success. Okay? So remember that consistency and patience is a key ingredient in achieving your goals. Okay, just remember, is that commitment of showing up every day despite the fact that you might not feel like doing it. Okay, but just like think about it. Okay, I'm super patient. I'm very patient. I can do it. Okay, today I'm not feeling like it, but I know that tomorrow is going to be a better day. And I'll be like honest with you, for the last like month or so, I think I've been feeling so down. It's been like a roller coaster. For me, it's not just one thing that's making me feel like I'm on this roller coaster. Work-related stuff, the life-related stuff, I just feel like I just don't have motivation to do anything. But then I get up and I do it because I know that at some point, I don't know when yet, which is kind of, but I know that I have to be patient. At some point, I know I'm just going to go through this. This is going to end. This me feeling like, this just doesn't make any sense. I'm not motivated. I don't want to wake up in the morning. This is going to end at some point, and I'm going to feel alive again, and it's going to be just fine. I need to be extra patient, and I'm just like looking and waiting for that little light to come, and just like I'm going to go in the direction of that light. So that's pretty much how this looks. So with every single goal that you have, you're going to feel that way. At some point, you're going to feel like S, but knowing that you're just taking baby steps, that these are pleasurable ways that you're doing the stuff that you're doing, it's all pleasures, that you have that goal, and if you reach this, it's going to be extra amazing because you achieve something that you've always wanted to achieve. And then you're just going to feel super proud of yourself, and you'll be able to celebrate that moment that, oh, I did this. That was me, nobody else. Me inside, that was my internal motivation. Okay, so these 7 key points will guide you towards successful goal setting and achievement. Now, it's your turn to take action. Start implementing these strategies and watch your dreams come to life. If you have any questions or want to share your experiences, I shared my experiences, leave a comment down below. Stay motivated, keep chasing your goals, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!